Hey everybody, my name's Colin Shable, and I did my informational interview project here with a person I met by the name of Peter Hall. To introduce him, Pete works for a company known as PennDOT. Those of you from Pennsylvania probably have heard of PennDOT. They do a lot of winter and summer maintenance. They're in charge of constructing roadways that are state-owned, as well as inspecting bridges, ensuring your vehicles are inspected and are up to date, so that everything that goes on the roads is 100% safe. Pete's position with PennDOT, however, he's an engineering supervisor. He's been with the company for 8 years. He's been there since he graduated college at Penn State. He's currently located in Huntington, Pennsylvania, but he worked in Pittsburgh the beginning of his career, and as well as Hollidaysburg, but he's back in Huntington, so he's fairly local to us, and he's worked on a lot of projects close by. He's worked on projects on 22 and 99, so he has worked alongside us very frequently. PennDOT was founded July 1st, 1970. PennDOT stands for the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. Like I mentioned, they're in charge of winter and summer maintenance, road construction, bridge construction, inspections, all that, you name it. Their mission is to make sure every roadway is safe for anybody traveling through Pennsylvania, whether it be in the summer months or in the winter months. Their top goal is safety and efficiency. Miss Baylog had us develop 10 questions that we were going to talk to our informational interviewee about, and the errors followed. What is your job like? What do you do on an everyday basis? What makes your job enjoyable? What do you value most about your job? How has your job changed since becoming a supervisor? What motivates you at your job? What is it like working in a team-based setting in your field? When is your busiest time of the year? Are you content with your position? And where would you like to see yourself 10 years with the company? So Pete and I met in his office in Huntington back in the middle of March, and we were able to go over these questions, and he was able to give me some pretty interesting questions, or pretty interesting answers, by the way. The first one being, what's your job like? He oversees inspection staffs on state construction projects. His job is always fast-paced and always has changing hours, so he's used to working several different shifts. Secondly, what do you do on an everyday basis? I manage multiple inspection staffs. I assign my inspectors to cover all of the contractors' critical activities. I assist my inspectors in finding the resources they need to perform their job. I review and process their inspection diaries. I authorize changes/extra work, processes estimates, review schedules, coordinate with business owners and general public. He also reviews plans for constructability, coordinates with utility companies and municipalities, hold regular progress meetings and pre-placement meetings before jobs are even started. He also told me what had made his job enjoyable, and a lot of it had to do with some of the stuff we've gone over in organizational behavior with company culture, and as well as organizational structure. What he really told me, though, was he gets to work with a lot of different people and work on many different projects within the community and see different construction activities. He said this is really enjoyable for him because he's able to make an impact on the community, and he really enjoys being able to see his work go to a good cause and make the general public happy from it. He next told me about what he values most about his job is working with many different people and improving the infrastructure. He said there's always been something he wanted to do. He always had a passion for the subject of math, and he was able to translate that into his engineering career. And he's now doing that with PennDOT, and he continues to work with them for a very long time. He then went over by saying, telling me rather, what motivates him at his job, or what motivates him at his job second, and then how his job has changed since becoming a supervisor. His job's changed since becoming a supervisor, because in addition to needing to have knowledge of inspection, I also need to be able to teach my inspectors what they need to do, what to do to adequately perform their job. He also found ways to motivate them along the way and to challenge his inspectors to become better employees and better benefit the organization as a whole. What motivates him at his job is seeing his work make a difference. It's like a self-motivation tactic that he's developed over the years at his position, and it's really worked for him, and he tries to encourage it on others to see all the good things that their company does for the general public. What it's like working in a team-based setting in his field is knowing that he's working with several different people. He's working with general contractors, fellow engineers, safety committees, um, individuals who are funding projects, pretty much everything that you can think of working in a construction-based setting. So he sees a lot of different faces, but he enjoys meeting them and working alongside with them, collaborating, seeing how they can most effectively do their job and also maintain safety. His busiest time of the year is in the summer. This was one of the general questions I had for him. He said this because there's a lot of roadway construction and he's working anywhere from first to third shift throughout the week, and it tends to keep him a little bit busy. I asked him if he was content with his position currently. He says that he never tries to stay content because he thinks if you're content, you're becoming lazy. He always wants to be challenged, and he always wants to further educate and better himself in his position. This question kind of goes along. This next question kind of goes along with the previous question, but I asked him where he would like to see himself 10 years with the company. He said he'd like to be in a higher management position, being challenged with new objectives, and doing what he's doing now, but to the next step, and constantly challenging himself to do better. Some key takeaways that I could take from this presentation or this project and meeting with Pete was to be a team player. Teamwork is essential in almost every organization, and me and him went over that, and that was one of the key points he highlighted. He said that that's the key to success in almost every organization, because you're going to see many different faces, and you want to be that person that's collaborative and able to work with almost anyone, so that way you can get things done more efficiently and you are a better employee. He also said even working in management, you got to consider everyone as an asset and consider their thoughts and ideas crucial, because you never know who you have working with, and you got to motivate them to do better at what they're doing, because it's going to benefit you and your organization as a whole. And one of the things that I found interesting was he said it's important to never be content, because you can become very lazy being content. Once you settle for doing something, you want to always get better at it. And if you're better, you're going to benefit yourself. You're going to benefit your employees around you. You're going to benefit upper levels of management and the entire organization as a whole. There's always room to improve and become a better employee, whether you believe it or not, whether the way you manage people, the way you do things yourself. There's many tactics to bettering yourself, and it's never a bad thing to become a better you. He said, also don't be afraid to take on challenges. Challenges make you a better employee and make you more aware for future scenarios and how to deal with things a lot better. I was able to relate this to in-class material. Motivation in the workplace is one of the big things that we went over, and it's something that I've gone over in almost every one of my business classes throughout my career at St. Francis. Motivation plays a huge role in productivity, and it's also very important to become self-motivated. Being self-motivated ensures that you don't really rely on any positive or negative key to coercive or reward power, but it's almost like a power within you that allows you to jumpstart yourself and make you excited and make you ready to take on new and challenging tasks. Next, I was talking about decision making, and it's crucial whenever making decision making that you weigh all the possible odds. It's also very important to have foresight, especially in the field of business, to almost have a eye in the future to know what your decisions have and the impact they're going to have on an organization, and why it's important that you as an individual and then as an employee to weigh all the possible odds in dealing with the people around you, because by negotiating with them your ideas and kind of brainstorming, you're able to talk about issues or what you can improve on with fellow employees and different levels of management. After this interview, I learned a lot. One of the most important things that I learned from it was to continue to seek information on different organizations. Um, this organization is very unique because it deals with a lot of many different positions, both internally and externally. PennDOT outsources a lot of stuff, and a lot of different companies come in. There's different inspectors that aren't PennDOT employees, but PennDOT outsources them instead, and it's important to them because it helps them with their company's diversity. Um, Another key takeaway I was able to make was to take advice given by professionals in different industries. Um, every professional's, not going to have the same, go to understanding, go to plan to make things work in whatever industry you may be working in. So it's important to get a well-rounded idea of what other business professionals are thinking and how they're able to combat some of the issues and how they're able to help motivate their employees. Focusing on company culture and organizational practice is also a big thing. Company culture is something that we've been talking about for the last 15 weeks here in organizational behavior, and it's something that's going to continue to rise within the future of many different industries, and it's something that's starting to become a higher value. Finally, not to be afraid to ask questions concerning organizations is also a big thing, because making sure that your own values line up with company cultures is important, and it's something that we all must consider as future employees into many different industries. All in all, I was able to learn a lot from Pete. He taught me a lot about the industry that he's working in, and I found it very interesting with a lot of the stuff that I didn't realize goes into it. So I now think of his company more as just the plow truck and the roadway constructions, but there's a lot of diversity involved with it and a lot of teamwork. And overall, it was very interesting to talk with them. Thank you, everybody, for listening to my presentation. I appreciate it. The next slide will be a reference to this slide, and I'm going to end it here. Have a good day.